Hi, everyone. Come on in. Good evening. Happy Thursday. Hey, Mr. Maya, how are you? Hello, Miss Eleanor Sanctuary. What's going on, people? Hi, everyone. Hello, Mr. Olufemi, how are you? Yummy Dean, Augustine. Hi, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Hi, Miss Sabina, how are you? Good evening, lovely lady. How are you doing? How are my babies? Hello, Cookies, baby. How are you? I'm doing good, Mr. Maya. How about yourself? What's going on, people? Hey, hey, Ghanaian wife, how are you? Still waiting for you. Still waiting for you to come and let me know. All right, good to know. Thank you, so Augustine. I appreciate that. Hi, everyone. How has everybody's week been? Y'all, tomorrow's Friday. Like it was just Monday, like yesterday. Like, I mean, it's like once we hit September, y'all notice that it just goes by. And because people know, well, the year, the months know that it's time to spend money in December. So it's like, let's keep going. Let's go. What's going on, people? I had my tattoos retouched today. So I have I have my badge. Y'all see? Yeah, so I need to take them off because it's already oozing. Not oozing, it's the liquid. Anyway, hi everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Adebola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's a case that we handle, we can and do represent immigration clients. It doesn't matter what state you live in. I like that. I'm telling you. The problem with that is they may want the money back because my your language skills. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 or something. Probably haven't missed that one. Something like that. But anyway, our contact information is right there on the screen. Miss Eleanor Sanctuary has put it on. If you're on Instagram, if you are on Facebook and YouTube, Miss Abina's got you on there. I already knew I was gonna go. But 334 and on TikTok, it's at the very beginning of all before the questions and comments. But 334-341-4475. info@olalalawfirm.com. olalalawfirm.com. That's the website to go to. Very, very straightforward, easy to browse website. We'll be glad and honored to represent you in your immigration case. You learn Yoruba, I'm telling you. Hello, Miss Fumbi. How are you? See, I'm just glad my mom insisted that we were going to learn how to speak Yoruba growing up because I'm so glad that I'm bilingual. And I'm going to try. I've been trying. Let me say, I've been trying. Timmy Lola in the house. Yeah. I've been trying to pick up, a little bit of Spanish words and all that, just because, why not learn another language? Because and I also want to learn Igbo language because I think Igbo is really hard. I went to University of Ilorin, so I picked up some Hausa words. And so there's some things that people say in Hausa that I can actually understand. But when it comes to Igbo, y'all Igbo people, Igbo is like tongue twisting language. So, like, y'all will agree with me, like all my Igbo sisters and brothers, y'all going to agree because your language is not easy to learn. It's amazing how many there are so many Igbos that know how to speak Yoruba language, but it's not vice versa. Go figure. It is. Oh, really? Okay. It's Igbo language. I think it's a tongue twister. It's like the only thing I know is like Chuku, which is gone or something. All right. Anyway, come on in, say hello. Thanks for coming in and joining us every Tuesday, Thursday. We do this Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Alabama Central Standard Time. Talking about things that they're different. Oh, there's different Igbo versions. I didn't even know that. See, Yoruba language. I know there's sub dialects in Yoruba because my ex husband is Ekiti, so I know when my ex father in law, God rest his soul, used to speak. I was like, is that still Yoruba language? I'm like, yeah, that's Ekiti. So I was like, okay, y'all miss me with that one. I'm still trying to learn the main one. Miss me with that one. But anyway, okay, that's fine. So anyway, what was I saying? I lost my trail of thought. But anyway, let's get started. Tonight, like I promised, we are going to do questions. Questions. Say slowly, 334-341-4475. 334-341-4475. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm trying to grow our audience on YouTube. So every time we on live Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're also on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. All 4 platforms at the same time. So whichever platform you're on, you're seeing the same thing. But TikTok, I'm not really sure it's saved afterwards. But on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, the lives are saved. So you can always share. You can always share the link with people so they can watch. Some people work a night shift. So talking about time. So we come on. That's what we're saying. Every Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Alabama Central Standard Time. And I want to emphasize the Central Standard Time because I cannot tell you every single time. I don't do consults every day, but every single time I have a consultation planned. Somebody's gonna call my front desk and be angry that I'm not there at the consultation, without fail. And then the call or the email or text Lydia and like, hey, the attorney's not there, we're waiting, yada yada yada. And then he's like, your appointment is at 10 a.m. Alabama Central Standard Time, as indicated in the email confirmation you got. It's in bold font, you can't miss it. And he's like, oh, sorry. Oh, I didn't know we had different time, but that's why we put it there. That's why we put it there. Please note, it's there. Note all times are in Alabama Central Standard Time. So that means your time zone may be different. And the good thing about our software, our appointment software, is when you put in the state you live in, it would actually give you the actual time for your appointment in your state. So it will give you the Central Standard Time zone, which is what all the times are, but it will let you know what time it will be in your state. So my point is, people ain't reading the email confirmation they get. So please read before you call our office and get mad and then find out that you're the one who's wrong. Read the email confirmation and know the time. Alabama is a Central Time zone. So if you're in Georgia, if you're in New Jersey, New York, Maryland, where else? Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, you are going to be in Eastern Standard Time. You're an hour ahead. If you're in Texas, if you're in Louisiana, Minnesota, Illinois, you are the same time as we are in Alabama. If you're in Arizona, you're 2 hours behind. If you're in Utah, you're 2 hours behind. Please note your time before you get mad. And then I got to tell you when I meet you, like, were you the one who called my office and wanted to cuss everybody out to find out you're wrong? Because, I'm Nigerian. I must move myself. I would bring it up like, because it's like, oh, people say, that person was so angry. And then they find out that they were the ones who were wrong and they were quiet. Of course. Well, anyway, let's talk immigration, people. So tonight, like as promised, we're going to handle and tackle questions. Put your questions in the comment section. So I'll try to do maybe 2 rounds each. Let's get everybody's questions. So please put your questions in. If you're going to send questions afterwards to DMs, Lydia takes care of that. Nobody can answer your questions other than myself. We also have Attorney Garcia who works with us. But other than that, attorney, no one is going to answer your question. My point is, this is where you get your questions answered. Or if you want to schedule a proper paid consultation, if it's something you don't want everybody to know, then you can do that. That's 334-341-4475. That's the number you can call. However, the easiest way to schedule your consultation is to go on the website, olalayalawfirm.com. Very, very straightforward. It's right there on the banner. Yes, thank you. Disclaimer. It's right there on the banner, and consultation is 30 minutes 245 minutes, 230, 1 hour. I can tell you that my fees are going to go up January 1st. That's what it is. You got to, I practice law, but I also run a business. So business mandates and calls that our fees go up. So but it's still the same for the rest of the month. And that means that even if you want to schedule against next month, that's fine, because for the last 10 days of the year, we're usually closed. I don't do consultations at all, strictly family time. And oh, by the way, thank you everybody for all the birthday wishes and prayers for my son. My oldest son turned 19 yesterday, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Thank you so much. Y'all showed so much love to my to my low maintenance, very quiet, a child of excellence, a child of grace, a child of favor, a child of the Most High God. Indeed, God created him. His name says 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 means God has done this. When I tell you, my kid, I didn't see my child for the first 5 days of his life. Not I didn't see him. I didn't hold him for the first 5 days because he wasn't in NICU. So when I say he's nothing short of a miracle child, because I was in labor. I can never forget. I was in labor, but he was trying. I'm all about 5 foot tall. My kids have big heads. Trying to come down the birth canal, got stuck, stopped breathing. You know how to hook you up to monitors? Stop breathing. When I tell you that from the time he stopped breathing, literally, to the time they got me into the OR for emergency C-section, and when he was out, it was under 10 minutes. This kid came out blue, and it's like, you cannot. I was out, but his dad was there, but I could hear someone praying. And so that is, God says he was going to leave, and so but they had to put him in the high epic movements in the NICU for the first 5 days. So there's the bond that SJ and I share that y'all can understand. So thank you for all the birthday wishes and prayers. I cannot believe I have a child who's 19. Let me go 19 years old. Let me go 19 years old. But anyway, all right, let's get to the questions. I'm going to start on YouTube. And disclaimer, and all answers to questions are just general information. If you want something specific to your case, like Ms. Illinois put in, you've got to schedule a paid consultation. This is general. Don't say, this is lawyer, so no, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Let me go 19. Don't be fooled by the gray hair. So this is just general information, use it at your own risk. But, yes, we have a lot of people who come back and say you have no idea how much information you give out, and, how I was able to navigate my case. That's fine, but general information. Okay. Keith says, do you see passing immigration reform anytime soon? Let me put it this way. There's nothing in the works that has passed anywhere, either the House of Reps or House of Senate. We're hopeful. See, I'm someone who's going to be forever hopeful. We're hopeful. But Abraham hoped against hope. We keep hoping against it. There's nothing that cannot come. We can wake up tomorrow and something has happened. You never know. So let's just keep going. As far as right now, no, there's nothing that has passed. Okay. Thank you. Hello, Miss Merther. How are you? Thank you, Miss Savannah. Yeah, so that's the information for the consultation on YouTube and Facebook. Happy belated birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's a normal that my I-130 can be reviewed by USCIS for 1 year and 9 months. There's nothing abnormal with USCIS. Let me put it that way. So you may have we're actively reviewing your case. You may have that for the next 1 year, for the next 3 months, 6 months. And we're actively reviewing your case, and you may have an approval within weeks. You may have an interview scheduled within weeks, within days. And I think I've done a video on this before. You can't really go by that actively reviewing your case. It's very, very common for USCIS to use that. But sometimes it's just an update in your case saying to show that someone has touched the case. Someone has reviewed the case, someone is reviewing the case, or it's been pulled up for review, but you don't know how long it's going to take them to actually review it. And then once they review it, they will decide whether or not they're going to schedule for an interview. So I usually, take that with as it is. And I tell my clients, don't be fixated on USCIS updates. I said, "One man can go case means actually. Let's just wait to get any kind of notice. Let's leave that alone." Okay. How long is Vawa case going to take, and how will an immigrant survive without work permit until Vawa is approved? There is no reason why you should survive without work permit until Vawa is approved, unless you're not eligible to file the green card application. But if you're eligible to file your green card application, then you're able to file C9 work permit with your green card application. I've said this so many times, but I can't tell you how many people still make that error. A lot of people file a C31 EAD even when a green card application is filed. If you file a C31 EAD with your VAWA case, you're going to be waiting until the VAWA case is approved. And that's because C31 EADs are for VAWA petitioners whose VAWA cases have been approved, not when you're pending. If you want a work permit, we got 6 work permits today. And out of the 6, we have 5 VAWA petitioners. And that's because we filed I-485 with the VAWA petition. So if you want to have to work while that is your VAWA case is pending, you've got to file a C9 category work permit, not the C31, if you are eligible to file your I-485. Meaning that even if you entered without inspection, a single entry without inspection, you're still able to file for your I-485 and file a work permit application as well. If you're married to a citizen or your abusive spouse is a citizen, then that means definitely you're eligible to file the green card application when you submit your VAWA petition. Got a phone interview for my I-751 in October, and he told me he was about to make a decision, but that very day, but I have not heard. Okay, I'm trying to really make a phone interview for that very, but I've not heard from them. Can I call to hold it? All right. So you got a phone. They called you. I'm assuming you've had an interview in office interview before, and they called you sometime in October and asked you questions regarding your pending 751. You were told that you're going to hear back from them, and they were going to make a decision soon, but you haven't heard from them since October. Wondering if you should give them a call or just wait 120 days. I would say wait 120 days. What do you think the call was about? If you had an interview before, and subsequent to that interview, they're giving you a call, probably will want to make sure that you have all your ducks in the row, first of all. And, it's not common for USCIS to call you to ask questions. It's not common. This is not COVID time, so it's not common. So I would want to know, as an attorney, I want to know why in the first place they're even calling you before you rush to have a decision in your case. Hope that makes sense. All right, let's go. I need to do that. Oh, it's at the TJ in TikTok. Now, where's TJ? Yeah, my house is quiet, right? TJ has been so busy. TJ's been busy. TJ has had back-to-back soccer games and basketball games. So, yeah, it's been busy. And so, and as soon as he gets home, like his dad, he's going to drop him home today. And as soon as he gets home, he takes a shower, eats something, crashes, and because it's got, and even when it has his games like that and it comes home late, I don't fuss about homework. But you better believe that we're getting up extra early tomorrow so he can get the homework done, because there's no way you're leaving my house without your homework being done. He already knows. I'll pull you from that game real fast. See, you can't, the normal in the US, you can't, it's child abuse. And especially someone like me that represents our human resources in Alabama, I can't touch your kids. But you got to get them where it really would hurt, right? Where for TJ, it's take him out of basketball game or soccer game. You may as well just tell him to go, just take him out of any of those games. So I know. So he knows that if we don't want to miss those games, the homework has got to be done. So I ain't even worried. Well, thank you for asking. Okay, I have questions. Okay. My friends, my friend's brother stole his passport and visa. Can he report to ICE? I can't answer that question, sorry. Hey, hello, Miss Delia. How are you? I'm good. How are you? How's your family as well? Can I put that I worked while I'm here while trying to adjust my status? Well, your I-485 would ask you, have you ever validated the terms of your non-immigrant visa, or have you ever worked without authorization? Normally, you should say yes. However, before you say yes, be aware of the effect of that and the consequence of that, depending on the application that you're filing. If this is marriage-based and you're married to a citizen, it doesn't matter whether or not you work with the authorization. You're exempt from that. So you obviously, if you work with the authorization, then you have to say yes, but it doesn't affect your green card in any way. If you are married to a green card holder, or it's an employment-based green card process, that is going to prevent you from getting the green card. You're going to need a waiver and all that good stuff. So it just depends on what basis you're filing the green card application. Green card interview in February, no answer until now. What should I do? You're not the only one. I have cases that have a case that's been pending since January, and I think at this point, I've told my clients by January, if nothing, then he would have to go ahead and file a lawsuit. But it just depends on the field office, how backlogged they are, if they're still claiming to do background investigation, background checks. You never know, and it's amazing because I have other places where, we get interviews done, and green card issued, we're on their way. It just really depends on what state you live in and how backlogged and how many cases that field office is taking care of in your state. Okay. Please do me a favor, everyone. Can you please not repeat the questions, because I'm just going to I'm just going to scale over. If you're going to see, I'm not going to read the question that's been asked so often, because then it's taking away from the time that others are going to put for this one question. This is the same thing several times. How soon do you receive a case number after filing? What do you mean by case number? Do you mean receipt notices? And it's still, if that's what you mean, it depends on what it is that you filed. But in all cases, receipt notices are being issued pretty much very, very fast these days. And if I'm not getting a receipt notice within weeks of any kind of case, that I'm actually starting to worry, compared to like a few months ago, where that, for instance, was taking 3.5 months to send receipt notices. So it just depends. I can't tell you how long it would take, but it's not taking too long. What does it mean when USCIS asks for initial evidence? And initial evidence is basically something that you should have submitted at the time you submitted your case. My son and I did biometrics the same day. He got work permit, no response from me, filing I-360 widower. One thing I've seen is, especially if it's a minor, meaning the child under the age of 21, they are issuing their work permits faster than the parents, even if you, and once again, biometrics doesn't have anything to do with how soon your work permit is going to be released. I keep saying that, and everybody, it seems like people are not listening. It has nothing to do with the time frame on how quickly they're going to get your work permit. Case in point, just using yours. You did your biometrics the same day your son has his, you don't have yours, because the biometrics is just your fingerprinting appointment. There are a lot of people who have their work permits without their fingerprinting. There are a lot of people who have their work permits issued before biometrics is scheduled. So it has one has nothing to do with the other, but they issue work permits for minors faster in cases that are concurrently filed. So it's not unusual. When you apply for VAW, when will you have the work permit? Once again, what category did you apply for? Number one. Number two, did you apply for a work permit to start with? If you, and the only way you can apply for a work permit that you will get while your VAW case is pending is if you follow the green card application, the I-485. If you did, then make sure you applied for a C9 work permit. And if you did all of that, it's taking them anywhere from 4 months to about 8 months for VAW-related cases. Why does your firm charge so much on consultation? You think my fee is so much on consultation? Because that's the fee. Why is it so hard for Nigerians to get to America? Okay, let's see. What are you advise me? I submitted for I-751 general condition, I paid money. Okay. So what is your question? What are you asking? It's been 190 days since we filed asylum and still haven't been fingerprinted. You can contact them. If you have your asylum receipt, you can contact USCIS and let them know you haven't received the biometrics appointment, and they usually would get that in the works for you. What is the evidence needed when filing Form I-130 for widow mother as beneficiary? USCIS.gov has courtesy checklist for all applications. But if you're wondering what it is, then you need to sit down with a lawyer and have them help you out. My mom was filing for my sister in the state, but unfortunately she passed away in February. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. Could you advise on what to do? You guys may want to sit down with the lawyer, depending on, there are some situations where if the petitioner passes away while the underlying petition is still pending or approved, it would depend on what stage it's at, whether or not your sister will qualify as and one of the beneficiaries that can ask for it to be reinstated. This is something you sit down with a lawyer to do. And this is not just a what can she do, this is what she can do. No, there's a whole lot of questions. There are a whole lot more questions to be asked about that. Can you file your I-485 with VAW when you have a case in immigration court? USCIS generally has jurisdiction over I-485 unless you are in court, but you still can file a 485 with them, especially if you're looking to get a work permit. However, whenever your VAW case is approved, then they won't be able to do anything about your 485 until and unless you're out of immigration court. Okay, they bring back rejection reason is incomplete fee. So what can I do because only 3 weeks left? Sit down with the lawyer, make an appointment with the lawyer, and get it right. So you're not trying to guess. Just let's see. Ooh. Okay, how are the sounds? Okay, sexy Tatty, you're married to a citizen. Okay, so it won't hurt your case in any way. Should you be? Well, you're required to be truthful. You're required to let them know whether or not to work without authorization. But in your particular case, because you're married to a citizen, that's not going to affect your case in any way. So the more reason why you should be truthful about it. Disclaimer: general information. I'm not saying I don't know anything about anyone's kids except you're my client. General information. That's it. Let's see. Can USCIS mistakenly cancel a green card interview that's already been held? Yeah, that's USCIS. Yep. I have a VAW case pending since September 2017. 2017? Not till now, no decision yet. Is this normal? I don't want to say your name. Quick question for you. If you're still on here, and I'll wait, I'll scroll all the way down. Do you by any chance live in the state of Maryland? Do you live are you a resident of the state of Maryland? The person who has that question of your case is pending since September 2017. Do you live in Maryland? I know what I'm asking you. I-751 has a 24-month already petition. How long do I have to wait? USCIS.gov/processing times. Can USCIS cancel your green card after 3 years? USCIS can issue you a notice to rescind your green card status if it's still within 5 years of you getting your green card. How long can you file for citizenship after a marriage green card? If you're still married to your spouse, 3 years as after you get your green card. If you're no longer married to your spouse, then you have to wait 5 years after you get your green card. How USCIS process asylum application if filed after 1 year deadline? I'm not clear what you're asking. Okay, hold on. I guess plan to file I-140 national interest waiver. Should I do concurrent filing with Form I-45? You cannot do concurrent filing because the priority date for EB2 is not current. Oh, you live in Texas. Okay. Were you living in Maryland at the time you filed your case? Or let me put it this way. Do you have a lawyer in the case, or do you have someone prepare your application for you? If you had someone other than the lawyer on your case, is that person located in Maryland? After a simple lie at the interview, I withdrew my N400. How long should I wait until I apply again? So you're required to have maintained good moral character for at least 5 years. For at least 5 years by the time you apply for your naturalization. So disclaimer, I don't know what happened during your interview, but generally that kind of situation where because you're under oath, and if you say something and the officer says that's a lie or misrepresentation, whatever the case may be, and they find you lacking of good moral character, or you already know that's how it's going to end, so you will be required to build yet another period of good moral character. Okay, but I got a second prima facie letter for Vawa. What is next? They're going to keep processing your case and you're going to keep getting prima facie determinations until your case is approved. What next do I expect from USCIS after I-130 approval? What do you mean? What next do you expect? Did you file your green card application at the same time? Did you file a work permit? What else did you file? They've already approved your I-130. So what next? What else are you expecting? If you haven't filed anything else, if you filed something else, then the question is, what did you file? Okay, I'm not really sure. What do you mean by EB2 it's not current? Priority date for EB2 national interest waiver is not current. If you go on to use a visa bulletin, they're working on cases that were filed on or before January 1st, 2023 for them to be. So if your case was not filed before January 1st, 2023, you cannot file a green card, meaning you cannot file a concurrent application with your I-140 petition. If you file it, USCIS will return it back to you. They'll take out your I-140 and return the green card application to you. But I'm not sure why your case is still pending since 2017. But since you have a lawyer in your case, Have your lawyer email them, find out what's going on. Unless there's just something in your file that's making them do extra investigation. But if all that fails, you may have no choice but to sue USCIS in court. Yeah, so that's what you may have to do. Okay, let's see. USCIS approved my F4 case for my siblings in 2010, but they haven't heard from NVC. What's next? They're not going to hear from NVC until their priority date becomes current. So if you are in a preference category, that is everybody except immediate relatives. That means that you're one of your best friends is going to be the visa bulletin. Visa bulletin released each month by the Department of State lets you know what dates they're working in on your category. So given what you said, 2010, if my memory serves me correctly, they are working on cases, meaning I-130s that were filed back in 2007 for siblings. So that means your siblings still have about a 3-year wait before they can hear from NVC. Let's see. Okay. All right. So let me go. How long does it take to get a green card after VAWA has been approved since October 2022? There's no telling. There's no telling. They may still want to schedule you for an interview. They may be reviewing your case. I can't. There's some questions I just can't answer. It's like asking. It's like saying, I don't know how things run in USCIS, and the same process in time is what we're looking at. So, how soon are the prima facie determinations being issued by USCIS? Anywhere from after they receive your case, anywhere from 2 months to 6 months. Whenever I have a case that 6 months we haven't received the prima facie determination, I just email them like, hey, any people, what's going on? And usually they would always respond to an email. I applied for an I-751 based on my wife, based jointly, 5 months ago, but I discovered my wife cheated. Oh, sorry to hear about that. What can I do? Sit down with the lawyer to discuss your options, see if you will be eligible for an abuse waiver to now convert to that. Okay. All right. Let's go to Instagram. Let's see. Sì, noi è mio buon English server. C'è già chi ma so Yoruba English me. Y'all just leave me alone. Someone come up by A3. Do they still do that system in Nigeria? Does anybody know? Because no, some of us have graduated like, jeez, graduated high school in 1994. Yep, I got an A3 in Yoruba language. How that happened, I don't know. Because I think I've told y'all before that. Monica saw call essay, right? If to someone, baby, there's some things you can never forget in your entire life because you screwed up big time. That's one of those cases in my life. If it was someone, baby, which obviously, thinking back now I understand. That means family planning. But 29 years ago, I did not know. I thought it was child christening, and that's what I wrote my essay. First of all, it was I can't really read Yoruba language. Like it takes me a while to read, and so for me, it's like, okay, that's what it means. And then part of your grading is you got to put all those do re mi kind of things. Yeah, but somehow, by some miracle, I got an A3. So I'm gonna just hold on to that last run and just y'all leave me alone. My Yoruba skills. Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Miss Eleanor and Miss Sabina. Y'all just doing the best. Yeah, we're doing questions tonight. Anybody needs questions answered, so that's what we're doing. Call your brothers, friends, aunties, and uncles that they have questions. As this is the night, y'all don't like us. Like you didn't answer my question. You put it on here where everybody can see it. Let's see. Okay. All right. No comment. Yeah, book your consultation now. Someone said, why did you charge so much for consultation? Actually, it's going up come January 1st. So, Epic Movement, what's been going on with you? My brother got married to a U.S. citizen, and he is 34 years old. His wife is 50. My brother has DACA and married. And they married and filed for his green card and just received EAD in advance for. So my question, what is your question? Question is, would he have problems with green cards view because of the age? Age is not age is a factor they can consider in a marriage-based case, but age is not a fact. It's not a ground for a denial. They cannot deny a green card application because of the age difference. And he's 34, she's 50, 16 isn't bad. Just saying. I mean, I've had cases of 20-something year gap be approved. So there's nothing unusual about 16 years. I guess really what he really needs to make sure, because you said your brother is on DACA. Did your brother go out and then come back in? Did he apply for an advance parole and then come back in and now he has a legal entry? Because if he, or did he, I'm assuming he was here because, coming in on DACA doesn't mean he didn't have a legal entry. So I'm assuming he has a legal entry. As long as he has a legal entry, then I wouldn't worry much about a 16-year age gap. Let's see. And that's the thing. See, the EADs are coming. For instance, we just got one of the EADs. I can tell you, we got 6 today. In our mail today. 5 Vawa, 1 marriage base, and we filed her case. I want to say exactly. USCIS received her case exactly October 20. I think it was October 20. It was a Friday. And we received her EAD today. It's not even 2 months. So, and she lives in, what does Miss Dean mean? She lives in Maryland, right? Yeah, I think so. And then I've got a case that we got the EAD yesterday, and then we filed it in April, marriage based. It just depends on the state, depends on the immigration officer that's working on your case. There are a lot of factors that's going to that. And then we had some EADs back in May and back in September, where we filed it a week after we filed it, they approved the EAD. USCIS, there's no rhyme or reason with USCIS. It's almost like a lottery. You don't know, you just pick it. Whatever gets selected, that's what you go with. For the purpose of applying for USCIS benefit, should a divorce based on an Islamic wedding need to be done in the court in Nigeria? Short answer, no. Please make your life a lot easy and simplify things by just doing an affidavit. Islamic wedding for purposes of immigration. And so this is one thing y'all can do. Whenever you're in doubt as far as what documents you can produce to USCIS or for an immigration benefit, go on the Department of State website and look for their reciprocity schedule. Reciprocity schedule lists every country and the documents that USCIS Department of State will accept as proof of that particular matter. Example, Islamic marriages. If you go on the Department of State, Click on the reciprocity schedule for Nigeria. It lists Islamic marriages, customary marriage, statutory marriage, Islamic wedding. It's just sufficient that the husband tells his wife that I divorced you 3 times. That's all. End of story. If you've got someone who's going to be willing to write an affidavit and include the dates, he said that, it made that pronunciation, when that happened, where you were. That's all. Once you start doing stuff in Sharia court and all that, you're going to complicate things for yourself. So, you know, if you don't have a headache, don't use Panadol. Trashinta Panadol. Things are right. Yeah, distance isn't a problem. We represent immigration clients in all 50 states. Let's see. After VAWA is submitted, what investigation is done since the abuser can be contacted? When I say investigation, I'm talking about when they talk about background checks. Now, USCIS still can verify information that you submitted for your VAWA case. They will not verify it with your abuser. But for instance, example, if you submit a lease agreement and they suspect that that lease agreement it's faulty, or you submit witness affidavit and they want to verify whether or not the person actually wrote that affidavit on your behalf, they can contact your leasing office and they can contact your witness just to verify that information. But as far as verifying information with your abuser, no, that is what the law does not allow them to do and cannot do. So you even like this life, no bells. Well, these friends are still on. Listen, Miss Abena, we're still doing friends. Listen, it is what it is. I ain't gonna say anything. How can I? Okay, that's the same question. Okay. Can we try not to repeat the same question? Is it better to file taxes jointly with your American citizen spouse? Better for what? For your case or for VAWA case? Better for what? If you're talking about marriage case, absolutely. It helps your marriage case if you're filing and commingling your money together. I did my I-45 interview after VAWA approval. No update yet after 2 months. How long does it take? That's not the question I can answer. Thank you. It's Elena Sanctuary. I'm not going to read what you wrote, but I don't know what it's your dad. Thank you. Appreciate that. World domination. Thank you very much. Yes. That doesn't bother me anyway. Actually, the fee's going up, so. I need to schedule a consultation with you to know my options for filing for my siblings. Absolutely, Wawa boy. I remember you not too long ago, we celebrated you becoming a citizen. But keep in mind, citizens siblings application is a 16-year wait. So because right now they're working on cases, meaning that people whose cases were filed in 2007 are the ones who were able to apply for immigrant visas at the embassy. So just to bear that in mind. Okay, let's see. Got my EAD last month. How long will it take to get advanced parole? I can't answer that question. Miss Fumbi, what do you mean? No, A1, B1, B2. I'm not sure. Can I get married to a U.S. citizen, travel out of the country with a valid student visa, come back 2 months later, and then apply for a green card? Can you get married? There's nothing that says you can't get married as long as you maintain, and when you're leaving the country, as long as you maintain your non-immigrant F1 visa, and you actually have a visa stamp, because if you don't, then you need a visa stamp before you can come back in. But disclaimer, general information. I'm not telling you to travel. I'm just telling you generally, I don't anticipate any issues with that. Badge of honor is the Yoruba paper on paper. And I'm wearing that badge of honor. I've been wearing it for the last 29 years, and I keep wearing it. So y'all just leave it alone. So y'all leave it alone. I have a pending I-140 with USCIS, but now my employer wants to sponsor me. Can I go for it? Nothing stops you from having multiple petitions filed on your behalf. But if you already have an I-140 with USCIS, an employer is going to, I don't know what your work is, unless you're a registered nurse where you qualify for a Schedule A. But if you already have one, it's probably going to be the same thing. But if you have one pending with USCIS, why don't you just do a request premium processing service, so you can have them adjudicate your case within 45 days, so you know whether or not they're going to approve it. Because it's the same form your employer is going to file. I'm not really sure I'm understanding what your goal is. Why would you want to have, and if you're not a Schedule A and an employer is going to file for you, they have to start with labor certification, which by itself, you start with prevailing wage determination, can take up to 2 years before they file an I-140. So USCIS requested for validation of my previous divorce. My previous wedding was done in Islamic way. Please, do I need to do the divorce again in a civil manner? No. What do you mean? You need to sit down with a lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer in your case, you need to show a lawyer what you've already submitted and figure out exactly what needs to be done. Y'all have to understand, there's some questions that it's not a yes or no answer. This is not the forum for yes or no. If you've got something like that, this is not a case where you want to take risks and say you can't go with what I'm just saying. I can give you something general, but as far as if they're asking for something, that means you've been sent either a request for evidence or a notice of intent to deny. That's not something you get the answer to here. If you understand, I hope I'm making sense. So consult with a lawyer and pay the high consultation fee, because guess what? If you don't give them what they're requesting, your case will get denied probably, and you have to start all over again and pay the high filing fees to USCIS. Yeah. Okay, he came in legal. Okay, that's fine. If someone is here legally with a 5-year visa and wants to stay, is there anything she can change her status? A visa does not, because you have a 5-year visa doesn't mean you can stay here for 5 years. A visa is your permit to come into the country. A visa is not your permit to stay. It's not your authorization to stay in the country. What authorizes you to stay here is your I-94. So the question is, how long were you given by CBP? They do not give I-94s in paper anymore. So that means you have to go online and check how long you were allowed to stay. Sometimes they'll stamp in your passport, sometimes they will not. So your 5-year visa doesn't do anything for you in the United States. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's the question. How do USCIS take? How do USCIS take you making a decision? I don't understand your question. Okay, all right. Let's see. See, Imani, just lay out what you don't have something. See, we're doing all the questions now. Why in God's name were you repeating the same question 10 times? Okay. When you apply for a fee waiver on a VA application, does that make you ineligible to apply for a C9 category because the attorney said I can't get a fee waiver if I file? You can get a fee waiver for anything. Okay. I don't want to say your name. A VA petition, there is no filing fee. So no one is filing a fee waiver for that. But if you want to get a work permit with that VA and you don't have filing fees to pay, then you've got to file the fee waiver application with your green card application, the I-485, and your I-765 work permit application. You file the fee waiver application with them at the same time and list the forms that you're requesting the fee waiver on. You have to do the same thing whenever your EAD expires and you want to renew it. So it's not like you cannot file a C9 category. You just have to file the fee waiver application with and submit that way. There's no guarantee they're going to accept, but you have to make a case for why you're needing them to waive the fees for that. I hope that helps. Okay, go into that question. If there's a divorce between the interview and the green card, and if the spouse got the green card without notice, USCIS, who gonna? Okay. If there's a divorce between the interview and the green card, and then if spouse got green card without notice, USCIS, who gonna affect for this reason benefit? This is what makes sense to me. Beneficiary and applicant is the same thing. They're interchangeable words. It seems like you had an interview before the green card was approved, or you approved. There was a divorce was final. After the divorce was final, then you got your green card approved, and now you're wondering, is that going to be a problem to the applicant beneficiary? That's the same person. Who's it going to affect? That's the person who got the green card. If you got a green card after divorce is final and USCIS did not know and issued you your green card subsequent to a divorce, then most likely when you file for citizenship, they're going to find out that you were not eligible for the green card to start with. Hello, Mr. Taryn. How are you? Oh, I have had a miscarriage. Can I add on my RFP bona fide marriage case? You should be able to do that, but you don't have to write the question 10 times. Okay. How long, what's abuse waiver? It's a self-petition. You convert from a joint petition 751 to a self-petition. How long does it take now to receive receipt notices for VA? I'm not seeing anyone that we filed in September take more than 4 weeks. How do I apply for a waiver of material misrepresentation? 601 waiver. That's how you do it. But if you're unsure, then sit down with a lawyer and figure that out with the lawyer. Okay. Okie dokie, alligators. Sanjay was approved August 2023. Still waiting for my work permit application to be approved. Why? I can't answer that question because I know nothing about your case. As a citizen, can I sponsor my brother from Nigeria? When you mean sponsor, meaning can you file a petition for your brother? If that's what you're asking, short answer, yes. But how long is it going to take your brother to apply for an immigrant visa at the embassy? No less than 15 years. Let's see if you're just going to be filing. As a green card holder, can I file for my grandchildren? Can you file for your grandchildren? Their mom is passed. I'm sorry to hear that, but unfortunately, no, unless you're going to adopt them, and that's a different ballgame altogether. But in adopting them as a green card holder, the only option you have is family-based petition, which is adoption petition, which means you have to have lived with them and have legal custody of and financial responsibility for them for at least 2 years. If your work permit is approved, is your travel document automatically approved as well? Not always. We're seeing quite a bit of USCIS bifurcating the EAD application and advanced parole application in the sense of some of them are not, they're not issuing combo cards in every situation. And in those cases, I'm seeing that there, for instance, the ones I talked about where we had an EAD, two cases, we had EAD approved within a week of submitting marriage-based case. Those two EADs were just EADs by themselves. And then we later got the advanced parole later on. So that's what I've noticed. But so it's not always that it's going to be automatically approval, because you may not necessarily get a combo card. Okay. Can my spouse readjust her status? You mean adjust her status if she's on a visa waiver program and married to an American citizen? Generally, you're not allowed to adjust status, but if you're married to a citizen, even if you come in with a visa waiver, then she should be fine. General information, but she should be fine. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. I have my green card. Am I eligible to file for my children under 21? Generally, yes. So that would be F2A category. But if you, because there's going to be some waiting time, and as a green card holder filing for children under the age of 21, if your children were under the age of 18 when you married your husband, or wife, I don't know if you're a man or woman, but if your children were under the age of 18 when you married your American citizen spouse, and they're still under 21, then it's going to be faster for your American citizen spouse to petition for them as stepchildren than you filing for them as a green card holder. Can you handle my case remotely? How can I get in touch with you from Philly? The first step will be to schedule a paid consultation and pay the high fee of $130 for 30 minutes, 245 minutes, and $230 for an hour, depending on what option you choose. And yes, I can handle cases remotely. 75% of my cases are handled remotely because 75% of my clients are not in my state. And that's basically for how immigration works. So immigration is federal practice. All I need is to have a license in one state, and I can represent immigration clients in any state. And fortunately for me, as God deemed it fit, I'm licensed in Alabama and New York. So I can represent not just clients in Alabama and New York, but clients in any state when it comes to immigration cases only. Okay. Let's see. All right. Okie dokie. I think, it's already 10 o'clock. Did I get new tattoos? I did not get new tattoos, Mr. Tarrant. I take that back. So this is not new. This has always been my good. It's just I needed to touch it up. So, but this one, the red, I've always had the hearts. But they were not red. And it's just, they symbolize me and my boys. And it just says a mother's love. I've always had the hearts, and they were not red, and we just put it. So this is half new. This is not new. I just needed to touch it up. Yeah. Don't ask me why I love tattoos. I don't know. Does it hurt? Yes. But you, like this one, it's close to, whenever it's close to the bone where you don't have fat, it's almost like they're scratching on your bone. It hurts. But where you have more flesh, I actually slipped off of this one. You had to tell, like, hey, we're done. Come on, let's go. Yeah, the part I don't like is when they started going to like peel and all. I hate that, but I needed to get them. But for whatever reason, when it comes to December, I started getting an each I don't know. I don't know. I had this done last December too. It, I don't know. Y'all just leave it alone. Anyway, my daughter and I got the fee waiver for me and my daughter and I. So, let's see. I'm trying to see who was asking about the. Okay, that's you. So you said my daughter on the VAL application. What do you mean VAL? There's no fee for a VAL petition. My daughter and I got the fee waiver for me and my daughter on our VAL application. Wait, what? So I don't want you confused. The VAL I-360 petition, there's no fee for that. When you say you got a fee waiver, what application are you talking about? Let's start with that. Happy birthday to your son. Thank you. You have a 19-year-old. Yes, I do. I've got a 19-year-old. Yeah. A lot of people use it because not that I don't talk about SJ. He's just my quiet kid. TJ is a baby. Y'all, Miss Eleanor Sanctuary. Yeah, I'm calling you out. The last kids, they've got to make their presence known. I got a sister like that too. So she's gonna be 40 in January. She's been making mouth all these years, like everyone is in the 40s, but she's in the 30s. She's still a young one. She's gonna be 40 in a little bit over a month. Let's see how much mouth she wants to have after that. Hello, finest Jandy. I sent you an email earlier on. I'm telling you, last born. Let me roll my eye again. There's something. They are something. Case in point, Miss Illinois, TJ. Let's keep naming them. Simisola. There's something. Like the world revolves around them. Yeah. And some of us were. I put up a post. You know how you say, behind behind every entitled and spoiled 12-year, I think it was 12 then. 12-year-old, there's a mother who's enabling him. Am I part of the problem? I think so. It's hard to tell TJ no. Now I'm very, very I don't mince my no when it comes to grades. No, African parents. When African parents, when it comes to grades, we don't play. So on that one, I have an alter ego. Like, don't even play with me. But anything else, I can soften up. But no, don't play with me, African. You put the F in family stands for fun. Yeah. 𝒂𝒏𝒕. That's it, right there. Just spoiled rotten plantains, that kind of thing. But they're smart though. You gotta give it to them. They're usually smart. Okay, I think I got most of the questions. How long does it make to take a decision after medical RFE and this is can't answer that question. Now babies at the icing on the cake. You are. Can't do without us. No, we can't. We can't. Well, we can't do without them. Spice up. You're right. I mean, I can't even imagine life without TJ. That Lord keep my child and keep them both and keep all our children. But really, what was it? Let me see what Miss Abena said. What did you say, Miss Abena? Did you get you you remember crying anyone who sent you and they didn't chase you out? Like this really hurt. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like, oh. But I was, you know how you tighten your feet because you can't tighten the hands. Like, darn it, I've forgotten how. But then when it started with this one, I just dozed off because I was tired. I dozed off, but it hurts. It's not child's play. I don't even know how those who make those big tattoos at their back on their chest and like Y'all take some drugs before you go in or something. Um, yeah. All right. So I think we have covered all questions, right? I think we have. Oh, you have three. Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. It ain't hard. I mean, they look good, but anyway, um, I think we've covered all questions. Sorry, mother, your eyes are pretty. Thank you. I submitted my I-130 form for my wife since 2021, but it's under review and have a green card. It's taking forever. I don't. It's. I'm just hoping that they even call me and make me USCIS attorney for them, just to handle cases for Africans and Caribbeans. They'll probably fire me the next day because every case, actually divorce the Creole, she divorced the Creole. Who's looking? Like, oh no, we don't need this kind of person. They're probably fine with me. Because you get a green card, you get a green card. I would just in 24 hours, everybody would get a green card. Because clearly it's not that serious. It's not that serious at all. How much is your free consultation? Anyway, all right, people. Okay, so great time. I'm glad you were able to get to, if not all questions, hopefully all. But if we can help you in your immigration case, once again, our contact information is 334-341-4475. How long does it take to get receipt notice? It's not taking that long this days. Thank you, at info@olalayelawfirm.com. Same number on WhatsApp. We do not take calls on WhatsApp. WhatsApp is strictly for text messaging. If you need to talk to somebody, please call our direct line, not on WhatsApp, but call the same number, 334-341-4475. If you just need to get information on consultation, you can do that on WhatsApp or go on our website, whatever way we can help you. There's nothing more, fulfilling being able to help. I truly just thank God for the grace and for the privilege it's humbling privilege to be able to represent fellow immigrants. It's not something I take for granted. It's something I believe is a calling, and I truly am grateful that I get to. Sometimes it's hard. It's very grueling and draining because there's a lot. I am that attorney that has a lot of emotions invested in cases. I don't wish, but I wish sometimes I wasn't that passionate, but then that will be wishing to be someone else. But I think for me, because it's harder when I get a denial, because that happens, and it just takes it like knocks the wind out of you. But for the most part, when you're able to celebrate with people, Mr. Ayodele, who put on the review, the longest review I was talking about, but just finally had time to sit down and read it, and it just really makes you just appreciate what you do. That really it's life changing. May not understand it or really get it until you read things like that and know that it's life changing for people. Especially when we come here and you get married and someone now is using that they're using your immigration status as a weapon against you, and life is just miserable. I talked to someone today who, as an African man, who it was hard for him to admit that he got into depression because of what his spouse had done for him. Luckily, we're going to be able to start a VAWA case for him, but it's a long space, and even from other countries like India, that I help clients in almost all. It's just being able to identify with what people go through. It is not easy to give up everything and come and start from scratch, because that's what we do as immigrants. Even those who come in with DB lottery, you still have to start from scratch, let alone those of us who have to figure out getting the status in addition to making a living. But I know that there's nothing else that I'm convinced about. I know that there's no error with God. There's a reason, there's a purpose for everything. And I know that if he's going to bring us this far, each and every one of us, and that's one thing I had to tell myself those years when I was waiting to get my that there is a reason why I'm going through this, but I know it was not going to be in vain. And that's what I want all of us to keep. Like, there's so many people who are still waiting on green cards, citizenship being granted, and all that. It's gonna happen. There's so many people in immigration court wondering, am I going to get deported? God, hopefully, God really know, but don't give up. Because, like I always say, if you get defeated here, then there's no point fighting. But just keep believing that God is in control. He is in control, and we're coming into the holiday season where we're with families. If we're traveling, there's some people who would love to travel back home, but they can't. But speak it into existence. If that is your plan, if that is your hope, speak it into existence. Speak it before you see it, that the next holiday season, the next Christmas, God willing, you're going to be able to go back home with your green card in hand and see family members you haven't seen. You've got to speak it before you see it. And I pray that God will meet all of us at the very point of our needs. All right, people, I will see you guys next week. Thank you. As always, you have a great weekend. Bye, everyone.